Camera, it's definitely looking like I have peanut butter on my face. What's up and welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about everything that I got at the Huda Beauty class of Snatch. The products, we're going to put them all on and see how they work, and I'm going to share my opinions, my thoughts, as well as what I learned in the class. I'm Xrizz'Tina, by the way. I make beauty content and I vlog my life, so don't forget to subscribe, even if you're on your TV. Make sure you subscribe. Right, first things first, I got the foundations from Huda Beauty. These are the Full Filter Luminous Matte Foundations in the shade Chocolate Mousse and Peanut Butter Cup. So that's 450G and 455R, in case you're looking them up. Then I got the new Easy Bake Setting Powders. These are the loose ones in the shade Peach Pie and Cherry Blossom Cake. These also come in pressed powders, which we're going to get into that. But this is what the pressed powder looks like. Okay, and then it comes with the little puff thingy majigger as well. I got a concealer brush. I got one of the Warm Matte Obsessions palettes, and this is in the orange shade. No doubt they did that for summertime. Then of course I got the Full Filter Luminous Matte Concealer. The shades that I got were 0.1G, and then I also got Toasted Almond. Yeah, so the name of the whipped cream and toasted almond is what I got. All right, last but not least, a few honorable mentions. Their lip stain, lip and cheek stain, their color corrector, and then I also got a blush as well as a liquid matte lipstick. Everything's going to be linked down below. There's going to be, I'm either going to have one link or I'm going to have individual links. It just depends. But if there's one link, it'll go directly to everything on the Sephora website so that you can grab these products, y'all. And it is an affiliate link, so I do get a little bit of coin. By a little bit, I do mean a little bit, so don't be afraid to shop. Thank you very much. Okay, y'all, so I finally have my eyebrows on. Everything I use on my eyebrows is not from Huda Beauty, but I will be sure to include what I used. And I'll also link right here an eyebrow tutorial in case you'd like to know how I lay my brows down. The first thing we're going to get into is this little palette right here. This palette is real cute because it's mostly matte shades, and then there are two creamy shades right here. I also forgot to mention that they gave me a kohl eyeliner pencil, so I'm going to be using this today too. I'm going to go into this brown creamy shade. That's what it looks like. A lot warmer on my brush than it is in the pan, which I'm not mad at. And I'm just going to bring this along my lash line because we're going to do something a little smoky today. Just something a little smoky. And I'm going to take this up, 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 up. Now, I will say the first time that I used the cream eyeshadow in this palette, it was a little bit of a learning curve for me because I didn't realize how quickly it was going to set. Now that I'm using it again, I know that I just need to keep blending. Just keep blending in order to avoid having any issues. And as y'all can see, this is definitely on the burnt orange side. Not nearly as cool toned as it looks in the pan, right? Which took me by surprise because I really was expecting like this ashy gray color that has a tendency to show up a little bit warmer on lighter complexions. So I appreciate that for sure. I'm going to follow that up with the cool brown shade down here. And this I'm actually going to put right on top of that cream color. Now I will say this was part of my confusion when it came to the cream colors, because these matte eyeshadows are going to sit and they're going to stick. So you really want to make sure that where you place it is where you want it to be. And then just blend it out carefully because you don't want to have any patchiness. If I was somebody who was going to be using this palette for the first time, I would recommend using the cream colors by themselves and then maybe just patting one of the lighter shades on top, or even just a shimmery shade or something from a different palette, just because if you're not expecting to be unable to blend your matte eyeshadow all the way out on top of this, it can be a little frustrating, especially if you don't have the right tools to do it. And y'all know me, my eyeshadow gotta be blended, baby. I can't be out here looking a mess. Okay. And I have a lot of lid space, so I'm definitely gonna take this further than where it is right now. I'm gonna take this Morphe brush and I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. I don't think yeah, I don't think the palettes have shade names, by the way. Correct me if I'm wrong though, because I do not have the box anymore. And so I'm going to start out here on my outer corner, and I'm sweeping this color into my crease, making sure to sweep the color in the direction that I want it to go, especially considering that, like I mentioned earlier, you know, these products are slightly a bit of a learning curve depending on what kind of brushes you have and your skill level with blending out eyeshadow products. That's really, really pretty. And I'm gonna build this up because y'all, I love me an orange look. I remember when I used to film makeup tutorials all the time, orange was my go-to, baby. You put in a little orange in the crease, you couldn't tell me nothing. Look at how that blew out. And make sure that I bring this up towards my brow bone especially. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. And this right here, I'm gonna get rid of by wiping off my brush and pretty much just blending it all the way out. All right, so now I'm going to take one of the lighter orange shades, and I think I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm going to pop that one right up in here like so, like that. I'm tapping it in first because I want it to know where it's supposed to be. Okay, why am I holding my palette all the way out here like that? I'm tapping it in first because I want it to know where it needs to be. And then I'm going to again blend in the direction I want the eyeshadow to go. And just sweep this all the way across that color that I just laid down in my crease. So we'll do a little bit of this one mixed with this one. And of course, these are orange. So if you're looking for something that's going to be more on the nude natural side, I'm not going to recommend this for you because depending on what your complexion looks like, these will definitely come out as peach, orange, you know what I'm saying, even bronze depending on how fair you are. I'll also include the brushes that I'm using too in case you're interested, because I feel like it's been ages since anybody has really just talked about some good quality eyeshadow brushes, and most of the brushes that I've been using today I've had since I was about 18 years old. Okay, that's a long time. Last but not least, before I put on my lashes, I'm gonna take this eyeliner from Huda Beauty. This is their long wear eye pencil. Okay, it's called Very Vanta. And that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna bring this eyeliner up at an angle because y'all know I love that cat eye look. And I'm not being super precise because I am going to smudge this. So I'm gonna take my smudging brush and I'm just gonna sweep across this so that it gives me a nice little smoke situation. Okay. If you are somebody who has watering eyes, I don't recommend bringing your eyeliner into your inner corner, especially if it's not one of those waterproof ones, but even those can melt away if they haven't set yet and your eyes start watering. Yes, honey, we got a little smoke situation, and I'm gonna reflect the colors on my outer corner and this liner on my lower lash line later down the line, just FYI, which just means I'm gonna put the eyeliner on, I'm gonna put some brown down here and blend it out, just so you know, because I'm probably not gonna show that. It is now time to do this base makeup. Let's just open up these foundations and see which shade is my shade right now. Okay, so definitely not this one, but this one might be it after later today because I'm actually going to go tan by the pool, which I'm excited. Cause y'all, I like to get ahead of the game when it comes to my skin. I do not like to be going outside with my friends during the summertime, tan 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades, and then be looking like confusion. I like to jump. I like to go ahead and get my tan before my tan can get me. So this is the other shade, and this is Chocolate Mousse. Now, I don't remember if these foundations oxidize, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And I may actually be able to use this to bronze tour. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my skin using my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I love this primer so much. It feels so good on my skin, y'all. So, so good. And if you're somebody who's dry or leaning dry or getting dry with time, like me, I'm gonna recommend this. This or just using some really, really good skincare to prep your face. Flawless, waterproof, super long wear, 24-hour transfer proof, fade proof, sweat proof, humidity proof. Woo! It says use a dense brush or a beauty sponge. This one is peanut butter cup and this one is chocolate mousse. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the darker shade and I'm going to put it on my forehead. I recently learned that whenever I'm using this milk primer, at least now, because in the past I was able to let it sit on my skin, I need to just go ahead and put my base makeup on. I learned that recently. And I don't know if it's because of the season or what, but when I was letting it sit, I guess it was just too cold in the house or whatever. And the foundation would kind of just be like, girl, I'm not gonna last on you. And I really appreciate them giving me 2 shades instead of just 1. Shout out to y'all, because y'all know that us brown skin girls, we have lots of dimension, okay? But I am gonna bring this down almost like I'm contouring. My second pump came out, a lot more came out when I used the second pump, so be wary of that when you're using the product. This is giving me about leaning full coverage. Yeah, this is giving me full coverage. So let's get into this chocolate mousse shade before it sets on my darn hand. I'm gonna do my swatch that I normally do. I definitely picked up more than what I need for sure. If you're not someone who's into heavy makeup, less is gonna be way more for you on the foundation department. So that's how it's looking. In the mirror, it's not too bad, but on camera, it's definitely looking like I have peanut butter on my face. Which, that's more of a me thing than it was the actual product, because like I said, I put on way more than I needed to. I forgot to use the color corrector, y'all, which I don't really need it at this point, but this is what it looks like, so y'all can at least see. So the one that I got was the pink one, and it's looking way lighter on camera than it is in real life. This is in the shade Pink Pomelo. If you're deeper than me, I'm going to recommend getting one of the orange ones. This one isn't too bad for me, especially during the winter time when I'm a little bit lighter, which I'm not going to be light enough to utilize this anytime soon. But this could definitely be used underneath the eyes for brightening, mixed in with your concealer and things like that. This is the concealer. The shade that I got was Toasted Almond. And I'm pretty sure that we got to choose our shades, if I'm not mistaken. So I went for a lighter shade because I like to highlight underneath my eyes. And I have a concealer that I already love that matches me really, really well for just looking like my skin. So this is the shade that I got. Again, that's Toasted Almond. I'm going to be using it in conjunction with this concealer. This is Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter Concealer in the shade 380. And if you're wondering why I'm using this one, it's because this concealer is also a soft matte finish. And I just feel like it's safe, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to put a little bit, because y'all, a little bit goes a long way with this concealer. When I first applied it, I was like, oh, this must be like a medium coverage. Girl, no. Girl, no. Girl, not at all. Okay, so I'm going to take my concealer brush. This is a Makeup of the Day Cosmetics Concealer Secrets brush. I used it earlier for priming my eyes. That's why it got product on it. So, and I'm just going to tap this in around my mouth and up and out to blend out that Fenty concealer. And I'm avoiding the Huda Beauty concealer right now because I kind of want it to set a little bit just so I can get that full coverage, because when I apply the concealer, I thought it was medium coverage simply because of how I was able to see through it. But if you let it sit for a second and then blend it out, it's fuller coverage. So before I proceed, I am going to go ahead and I'm trying to use this as working spray, but like it's not working. That's a step I've been taking just to try to combat my fine lines around my mouth creasing or my smile lines creasing. Now we're gonna get into this concealer right up in here. And you can definitely use a sponge with these, but I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to matte products specifically, it's better to use a brush. I feel like when matte products come in contact with things like sponges that have water in them, they have a tendency to break down and separate because they're matte products. Does that make sense? It's supposed to be flat and essentially dry. And so when you're mixing it with something that is water-based, like a beauty blender or a wet sponge in general, it just sort of takes away from the quality of the product. And hopefully y'all can see that this is like full coverage, like full coverage. Now I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to work my way around that product again to further blend it in. And sometimes I'll even go like right on top of the product with my foundation brush, depending on how it's blending in. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're using dense makeup brushes. You don't want to be using the ones that are flimsy because they're just not going to move the product the same. All right, y'all, let's get into this powder. I have tried the pink powder and I feel like right now it's a little too bright for me. I don't know. What I have found though is whenever I use the banana powder and then I use the pink powder, it does come out really cute. They did give us these cute little Huda Beauty powder puff thingies, but these just have not been doing me justice. I don't know why. It's probably user error 9 times out of 10, but I'm going to go ahead and use a beauty blender and I'm going to start with banana bread. I'm just going to make sure that this is all blended because once you set this with powder, it is set, y'all. So I'm going to blend away any creasing. And like I was mentioning, the reason why I like using a sponge instead of the little powder puff thing is it just seems easier for me to get a nice even coverage across a beauty blender than it is with that little puff thing. The trick with this powder, in case you're wondering, is letting it sit on your face. Now you might be thinking, well girl, I don't want to bake. If you don't want to bake, this is not the product for you. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, y'all. It's that simple. I feel like a lot of people jump on trending trains like when it comes to products, which there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have the income and you just enjoy trying new products. But at the same time, it's like not everything that's trending is meant for you specifically as a consumer. And it's really, really important to learn how to differentiate between what you actually need versus what's out there. So I'm going to take the light pink powder and I'm going to take the powder puff at this point. And I'm just going to put it right underneath. Y'all are probably like, girl, overkill. It might be. I'm also going to come up under here. And sometimes things that are trending can work for you. But again, if you're not somebody who wants to bake your face, this product is not for you. Because it's not really for like the natural setting underneath your eye type of situation. You can try to do that, but the way that it's formulated is for baking your face so that your makeup will last through Armageddon, okay? Okay? I find that's really common. I had someone comment on one of my videos here recently telling me that they tried a product that I posted about and they didn't like it, and I was kind of just like, well, return it. You know, not to be funny or to be rude or anything, but it's like, just because somebody is sharing a product, just because I'm sharing a product doesn't mean that it's absolutely going to work for you. And that's why you have to know what your preferences are, as well as what your skin will allow you to rock, right? So it says to leave this on for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna let it sit until I'm uncomfortable looking at it. You'll wind up being very upset and disappointed, you know, I want to say 80 to 75% of the time if you're just buying stuff just because you see it, you know. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and sweep away this product now, and I'm going to start with this eye. Woo! Now, I will say this. baking is something that is not traditionally what I do anymore. I used to do it when I was younger, and it was because my skin was oily. I was able to put loose setting powder on my face, and I kid y'all not, I would not be dusting away this much product by the time I was done with it sitting on my face. Now though, my skin is a little bit more dry, a little bit. So I'm able to, let me get this out of the way. I'm not able to leave it on as much, and I also have to go back in with things like my foundation brush and blush and things like that to make sure that underneath my eyes doesn't look like, you know, I've been sitting out in the Texas sun for too long. But that's how it looks after baking. Not bad, not bad at all. I'm definitely set, but for me, I'm a little too dry. So I'm going to take my foundation brush again, and I'm just going to come up under here. What this is going to do, depending on the formula of your foundation, is it's going to tint the powder a bit with what's left. And if you're using a foundation that is really matte, like truly matte, not soft matte, this isn't going to work, because by the time you get to it, the foundation on your brush will have dried. But this is not the case with the Huda Beauty foundation, because it is a soft matte, and soft matte typically means that the formula is just more on the satin side. It might be a whipped formula when you pump it out of the packaging. It might look a little bit more creamy, and it's just more flexible on the skin so that, you know, you're comfortable wearing it. Now I'm going to take their cheeky tint in the shade Batty Berry. That's what it looks like. This isn't a color that I particularly would have picked up. I definitely would have loved to have an orange or even like a warm brown shade. But I do feel like these colors are universal. You know what I'm saying? But this kind of color is one of those shades that I feel like I get a lot in PR. I feel like I get these colors a lot when I used to work for you know, like Ulta and MAC. This is one of those colors that's just always present, and I think it's because it's a universal color. It'll look good on you whether, you know, it's your cup of tea or not. So I'm blending it out with a beauty blender just because I don't want it to be super prominent on my face. And I am going to take this right along my cheeks and underneath my eyes, because like I said, I'm dry, girl. I need all the help I can get, baby. And that restored that glow. So now I have the security of knowing that my base makeup isn't going to move because I baked it. I have color and I'm not ashy. Boom. Okay, so I almost forgot about this too. They gave us a mascara. This is the One Coat Wow mascara. And I'm just going to shake this baby underneath or on top of my lower lash line. And I will say this, it is a rubber wand and it's shaped like an hourglass. One Coat Wow is true, but I feel like with most mascaras you actually have to have some eyelashes to see them. And that's just my personal professional opinion after selling mascaras to people and things like that. It's just a matter of you having eyelashes, even though they're typically marketed to people who don't have eyelashes. Anywho, let's move on to this lip, honey. Now, I do have two options. They did give us a lip liner, but I gave the lip liner to my friend Miranda because it was too light for me. And they didn't have any of the darker shades available anymore in the lip liners at the event, which is okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Because I have plenty of lip liners. I just wanted to experience theirs, which I can go pick it up at Sephora. Anywho. So here are the two lip options that we have here. And I'm going to swatch them for you so you can see. This one is called Coral Kiss, and it is a lip blush is what they're calling it. So this is going to stay in my hand, but it's okay. That's what that looks like. And I did like that when I first put it on at the event. I said, oh baby, this is for me. I love a lip stain, but I hate what they do to the skin on my lips. And then there's this right here. This is a liquid lipstick. Again, in one of those mauve-y universal shades that can look good on anybody as long as you know what you're doing. and this is called Sweet Talker. I think I put this on and I did like it. It was mixed with 2 lip liners, a brown and like this rich wine color. I like the way that it felt on my lips is what it was, but I'm not gonna wear it today because I don't need a long wearing lip. I'm just gonna take this lip liner from Too Faced because I don't want anything super fantastical, and then I'm gonna put on the lip tint. And that's really cute. I feel like my camera's not picking up on how peachy it is, but I just love that. I love a peachy lip tint. Not pink, not orange, but just right in the middle, peachy. Let me get my setting spray. So this is my new bottle. And if you're somebody who wants to be matte and you prefer for your makeup to just last and not move and not budge, I'm going to recommend the One Size, the aerosol spray, because I've heard that that is incredible. I've used it a couple of times, but it didn't really do much for me personally, and I think that again was a user error sort of situation, or just for the simple fact that I prefer for my foundations to be luminous and radiant. But this is what it looks like without my setting spray on top. Really beautiful, right? I've been trying to learn to have more self-control when it comes to spraying my face down. Like, girl, you don't need that much. You don't need that much. I think my face looks really, really good. I feel like the pink powder definitely toned down that peanut buttery look that I feel like I was getting in my monitor here. I don't know. In real life, it looks good. It looks like it matches really well. So I do want to say thank you to Huda Beauty and their team for inviting me to your event and also giving me these products to try again. I have tried some of their products in the past and I wasn't really satisfied with how everything set and played on my skin, but I can admit that that was definitely number one, lack of education on the product, because you really only get so much information from like the websites and the reviews, and then also user error in that, again, I just didn't know how these were supposed to play and work together. So thank you for giving me those products. Thank you for inviting me to the event. I believe I was added to the PR list as well, so I'm looking forward to receiving, you know, whatever comes my way. What would I recommend? Let's get into that, because y'all know that's part of my review process. Okay, so for me personally, out of all of the things that I've tried today, if I was going to recommend anything, it would be these 4 products. So the eyeliner, because I just like how it blends, and I also like how black it is. I also love that it's in a retractable pen or packaging. The loose setting powder, and I say that because there are people out there who do like to bake, honey, and baking can come in handy, especially if you are somebody who is oily or you sweat a lot. So the loose setting powder, the lip tint, because I like this color specifically. I feel like all lip tints at the end of the day make my lips peel. I don't know about y'all, let me know down in the comments, but I do like the color, which I haven't found in very many lip tints personally. And then look, I'm just struggling to hold all of it. I would recommend the foundation, the Faux Filter Soft Matte Foundation. I like the way that it blends. I don't know, like I like the way that it blends. I like how lightweight it feels. It doesn't feel heavy on my face, but again, I do wear heavier makeup. And then I also like the finish. Now I will say, if you're somebody who has texture and you don't like to see all of that, I'm not going to recommend you get matte foundations in general. Lean more towards the radiant and luminous kind, but you may be able to finesse this one since it is a soft matte and not a, I'm gonna call it a hard matte foundation that's just straight up dry. This is very flexible on my skin. I'm not concerned about, you know, my face looking a mess later down the line today. So that's what I would recommend. And you know what, I didn't get to use this because I feel like this is going to be more of a touch-up product for me, but I would actually recommend getting the Easy Bake pressed powder, because when I did use it, I used it to not touch up, but just to see what a touch-up would look like, and it was really nice. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all. We'll pretend that me glowing under my cheeks is not intentional. So I'm going to take the little puff, and this does come with the puff, by the way, and just touch up. Like, it's going to mattify. If you was trying to be not shiny at all whatsoever, This is for you. This is for them girls that be outside during the summertime. Okay. The girls that be going to events and festivals and stuff. I'm looking at my monitor so I can see. But y'all see that? Girl, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think this has a fragrance to it. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. So if you've tried any of Huda Beauty's products, comment down below and tell me what your favorites are. Tell me what you would recommend in terms of those products, the application process, and who you would advise to use them, okay? And don't forget to check out Huda Beauty's website, as well as the links down below that I have to all of these products via Sephora, honey, okay? I'm gonna see y'all next time. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video, because dead. I gotta turn on some lip gloss, baby. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay.